welcome to the channel. And this is just a rundown through my story and just a free training video. So let's get into it. And so this is how I went from 195 pounds overweight to 140 pounds skinny fat, and then back up to 175 with, lean muscle and doing it the right way. And, 90% of that all comes from what you eat and your habits and staying consistent. And this is mainly for men who are working full-time jobs and they want to lose some weight, but also just getting in shape as well and building those habits. So let's get into who I am and a little bit about that. So over here on the left is a picture of me. I was about 195, about probably 5'6", and I mean crazy, crazy overweight and just not comfortable at all and wouldn't want to take my shirt off, and then yeah, there's another one. Just those are before pictures, and then the middle picture is just a picture of really like how I lost the weight, but then also just didn't know how to diet and didn't know how to lift, and so or what to lift, and that is I mean, basically just it was just skinny fat. Like wasn't strong, but wasn't lean either, and so it was just a lot of fat. Um, and so we're gonna go through how I went from this on the left to this on the right. And so, yeah, again, who this is for, men who are building or who are serious about losing fat and building muscle. At the end of the day, that's what all the guys want is to build. Everybody can build more muscle for sure. It's just knowing how to do that. And that is what I'm here for. And training with structure and maximizing time and daily habits. Those are all so crucial. Like, I mean, you can't stress the fact of maximizing your time and daily habits and even just training with structure, like going into the gym and not knowing what you're doing or gonna do that day is you're losing so many gains through that. You're just hopping from exercise to exercise, not pushing yourself. And I know that because I've been there, I've done that, and it doesn't work. That is exactly how that is the things that I changed from going when I went from skinny fat to being 175 lean and being in shape, comfortable with taking your shirt off. And yeah, so let's get into it. The biggest problems that working men face, and the biggest questions that I get a lot are those questions as well. And those are just really like some of the big things. But the time management, just setting up a schedule that works for you. Like, I mean, a lot of the guys, they got a family, and everything like that. So, like, it's tough to get to the gym. But even if it's, 3 times a week for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, like, I mean, you're probably spending that time on your phone at home. So why not put that effort in, put that time into good effort and use towards yourself and invest in yourself. And eating out, that is a big one. That one is just overall like it kills your gains so much. And because of all the processed food, all the just the junk in the food. And honestly, like if that was one of the things that like that's one of the like top like three things that is going to kill your gains is eating out a lot. Now, that being said, eating out, once every once in a while, or you're going out with friends, like just picking the healthier option. Like, I mean, you don't have to live a boring life, but you can still enjoy those things, but also simply you gotta think those things through and just really think about the healthier options. Or if it's not very often, then hey, you can go off a little bit, but then you gotta get back on track. With working in a 9 to 5 job or doing roofing or anything like that, I mean, just packing your lunch, like, is so simple and it's so easy to then you don't have that temptation to go out and eat every day when you could stop at the gas station and grab a pizza from Casey's or wherever, you know? And if you just pack your lunch, you got that food there. And then just making sure that it's like whole foods, like not just the process, everything that's processed, like making sure that it's, some protein, meats, fruits, vegetables, things like that. I mean, those are so key, and that's what's going to really transform and make you help you lose that weight. And honestly, just if I can say all that with time management, eating out, and everything like that, but if you don't have something that's sustainable, like having a plan, like an exact plan that's fit for you and structure that's built around your schedule and that you're going to be able to do for a long period of time. And that's the difference between this and cookie cutter workouts. You can do those for a few weeks, but then you fall off, or the fad diets, and but it's really about making sure that you are being intentional and understanding that this needs to be something that you can sustain for a long period of time, and making your workouts and your food a non-negotiable is another thing, like some people are just able to go ahead and they eat clean for a week. So, yeah, let's get into the next one, and that is the four pillars of my training is what I base kind of my training on and everything like that. And we're gonna go through the four pillars of my training. So, I mean, yeah, obviously, the training part of it, the nutrition, the habits, and the accountability. That's kind of what I base everything on. So, let's just go ahead and get into the first one. So the first one is, the training. That one is really very straightforward. I mean, it's just simply the fact of like getting those reps in, those and being intentional and understanding what you're doing and keeping track of everything. Like always being a little bit better than the week before, a little bit better than the lift before is so key. And being able to keep track of all of that. And then also just really focusing on like what you're lifting and the understanding the weight and just lifting safely as well to minimize injury is huge as well. And then the nutrition side of it, that's where a lot of guys get stuck on is the nutrition side. And that is just you can't stress it enough, really. Like the nutrition, if your nutrition is on point, you will be able to just your lifts will go crazy. Your everything will just you'll recover so much faster, and you're gonna be able to sustain that for such a long period of time where if you're just eating whatever you want, you're not going to recover good. And you're just going to feel terrible as well. Therefore, your energy will go down. And with good nutrition, your energy will be amazing. You'll be surprised how much more energy you've got as well. And so then the next thing is just the habits, like those small daily habits that you don't think make a difference, make the world a difference. Like when you get up, just, making your bed, like, or brushing your teeth, that just sets the foundation of your day. And those small things are like they're so small and so simple. They take like 10 seconds, but at the same time, that is what is setting the foundation of your day. If you're skipping those, then you'll skip everything else that is important, or you'll just choose the easiest route for everything. And the easiest route is not always the best route. Therefore, making sure that we're doing those small things and those small habits, building those small, great habits, those habits compound on top of each other. It's just like compound interest. It compounds on top of each other, adds up over time, and in the end, you have so much greater of a result than you ever thought you would. So those small habits are so key to just building those small habits. And then the accountability. That's another thing that, it's not, you don't have to have it, but it sure helps. Like having that accountability, that really is what sets people apart. They the people that have the accountability are the ones that are going to stay the most consistent and the most driven and disciplined. Motivation does not carry you, discipline does. So discipline carries you on the days that you don't feel like it. You want to stay in bed. You want to just go home and lay on the couch. You want to just do anything besides work out or make that next meal. That discipline is what's going to push you and drive you forward, and that is ultimately what you want. And so yeah, just kind of another recap of who I am and how my transformation, and those are the key pillars that I use for in my transformation, and just being able to push through from the day to day and just do the grind day in and day out and getting that long-term success. And so yeah, just like I said, the this is for me when I was some befores, and then this is my transformation looks like. And so, yeah, let's get into a little bit of what my base program would kind of be like. And so, the baseline habit training is, week 1 to 4 roughly, and you're going to be trying to find that maintenance, and then you're going to be going into like a 3 to 700 calorie deficit, obviously, depending on your goals that will fluctuate, but yeah, that's just a rough estimate. If you're trying to lose some fat, that's your goal right there. And then your macros, your protein, you're going to be wanting to hit like 1.2 to 1.5 grams per pound. So, if you're at 170 pounds, you're going to be looking at, probably close to 200 grams of protein. And so then your fats, and you're going to be at 0.25 per pound. And then your carbs are mostly that's gonna consume most of everything else of your total calories. And then yeah, your training, I mean, you're gonna be looking at, 30 to 60 minutes is a little bit of a broader spectrum. And then lifting, 3 to 5 times a week, if possible, if your schedule allows that. That is going to be key as well. Just staying in the gym at least 3 times a week, if you can get in for three times at, 45 minutes each time, that's huge. But then on those days off, you got to really, really focus on that nutrition. And then just really the first few weeks are going to be mostly strength training focused, just simply to get you that firm foundation to build off of. And then, yeah, I mean, right there's the first one is, upper body focus, and then one lower body focus, one pull day, one push day. And then we're going to be emphasizing compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, and then some just machine lifts and stuff like that, whatever you have available. And then doing cardio 2 times a week is it can be, making sure that you have those 10,000 steps a day. Those 10,000 steps a day should be mandatory, just simply because it keeps you active and it keeps you in such great shape, keeps your metabolism building and just going. It speeds up your metabolism actually. So then the next thing would be, tracking your macros. I personally use Cal AI, and I know a lot of people that use My Fitness Pal, and they really like it. I've used it some too, but I do prefer Cal AI. It's just easier to work with. And then phase two is kind of, that progressive overload. You're always going to be trying to get that progressive overload, which is, your heaviest lift is going to be last. So you're building up to that. And then we're going to go back in and reassess your total daily expenditure, which is basically just your calories burned and what you're looking at there. So like every 2 weeks, just based on your progress, we'll go in and reevaluate that. And then, yeah, most times we're going to be lowering your carbs a little bit and raising your protein based on results and how your body's reacting to that. And then training intensity and volume increases. And this is where you're going to be doing more reps with a little bit lighter weight. And we'll add a few new lifts in, and we'll see how how your results are from those and the previous ones as well. And then we'll incorporate supersets and, drop sets as well, just to get that extra burn and those extra calories that you'll actually turn into muscle. And it will just burn a few more calories, and increase your strength like that as well. And then I personally use with this program, it's called Coach Catalyst, which is an app that, you would get and everything. And that is what we use here. So you just go in and go ahead, and all your workouts are right there. And this is so great for keeping track of all your exercises and all your weights, your reps, and everything like that. You plug that all in. And then phase three is going to be just really refining and mastering everything that we have been doing, and obviously adding a little bit more cardio, and then also, more progressive overload. And that's going to be key to that, and being able to build up that strength and just really dialing in on that nutrition, calorie cycling, which is basically you're eating a few more calories on your days of training, and then 10% less on your rest days. And that is really key to fuel those progressive overload sets and the supersets, drop sets, everything like that is just super key to having the energy and being able to hit those with high intensity every single time. And then, yeah, then we're going to be continue building a program that is sustainable for you, and just eating at a maintenance and maybe slightly below, just to continue and to burn that fat. And then, yeah, the training programs here on the Coach Catalyst. So this is just, a lower body hypertrophy day, and this is a meal plan, and you can just click on there, and everything, all the meal plans and everything like that will come up into there. And this is it, guys. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions and would like to reach out, just DM me on Instagram, and we will chat there. And thanks for watching, guys.